Hi everybody and welcome back to the Celtic Way. It's another special edition, another special podcast. I'm Tony Haggerty, at Haggerty10 on the X and Twitter handle. And as you can see, I'm joined tonight by a man who needs no introduction. We're going to introduce him anyway. It's Jackie McNamara. And the temptation for me always, Jackie, is to refrain from saying it's Jackie McNamara and your hoops are white and green. But welcome to the show, Jackie. Thank you very much for joining us. We're going to talk Celtic, Bayern Munich. We're going to look at last night's midweek action and also preview the second leg. First and foremost, how are you, sir? And welcome to the show.
Aye, all good, thank you. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, nice one. And we'll just launch straight into it. I take it you watched your former team last night in action against Bayern Munich?
I did, yeah. I thought it was a lot of good things. The disappointing things, obviously, the two goals were poor. It's to concede. Obviously, the first one's a good strike, but it shouldn't really get to that. To be honest, the second one, I don't know who was marking Harry Kane for the corner, but one guy you don't want to leave unmarked in your penalty box. So he had an opportunity in the first half. He had a head at the back post for the corner. That hits the side netting before that. So, when you think that would be a wee kind of warning sign, but to have him unmarked and a good finish from him, albeit, but it shouldn't get to that.
We were talking about the league phase suiting Celtic and the results that they've had. You mentioned Dortmund, but they've learnt real lessons from that Dortmund night, haven't they?
They have, yeah. I think it was obviously a bit of a lesson that night. A bit naive at times defensively. But they went away to Atalanta and done really well. They're a good side, and they've definitely improved. In Bayern Munich last night, I thought there was a lot of good things. They're a good side. They keep the ball well, but I still thought we carried a threat, in certain times, and looked capable of scoring. It just obviously the other side it. You give top players opportunities, they'll take it. And you've seen that last night, which is, the first goal, as I said, I think Taylor's playing him on to start with, then to let him inside at that point, just keep him going down on his right-hand side, keep him away from goals, not to take yourself out of the game, which happened, and obviously the boys had a good strike after that. Schmeichel had a few good saves in the match as well, but, it is a different level for what they're used to week in, week out. And they've done well.
I was going to say that you look at Michael Elise's strike and, he still has a bit to do, but, that's that margin of error at that level, Jackie, and the punishment that a team of that calibre can inflict on you. The ball's broken off Taylor as well, kind of unlucky ricochet off him, but he has buried it, and it's not even a chance, is it? It's just like he has put it in the top corner in the blinking of an eye, right at a time when you thought, the team talk would have been so different had Celtic gone in at 0-0, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been. I think, as I said, if he was just kept on down that side, rather than I know he gets a break of the ball, but he should still not get in that way that easily to get his shot away. And it was important. It was important, especially there with the momentum at the time, to lose that goal like that. So, as I said, these guys, when they get the opportunities, they'll take them. And it was a fantastic strike.
And as you say, Harry Kane, if there's one guy you don't want to leave alone in the penalty area, Harry Kane, the guy who became the fastest man ever to score 50 goals in the Bundesliga. But again, and that's the irony, isn't it, Jackie, that Celtic lost that game last night against top calibre opposition, but both the goals they conceded were preventable. And that's what will annoy the manager, because in terms of structure, discipline and organisation, Celtic were good.
They were, yeah, and as I said, there's been big improvements this season. I do like the new format of the Champions League. It gives gives the sort of smaller teams, if you like, an opportunity there to progress, and I think it's been good. Really good to watch, because every game is different, and as I said, I think it's been a good campaign for Celtic. It's not over yet, but it was obviously a big ask to go there next week and get a result.
Well, you look at the games in the playoff round, Jackie. Real Madrid are there, Bayern Munich are there, Celtic are there, Manchester City are there. So that shows you that it's not, certainly in terms of the group phase, it's been or the inaugural Champions League phase, it's been success that way, because it has sprung a few surprises. Other teams are in there which they might not have had a chance to be in the normal group stage and home and away.
Yeah, exactly. I think, as I said, I think it's better for the neutral. I do. I think it's a good format. It's not the usual ones that you expect to go through over the two games, in the group stages, and it gives everybody an opportunity. And I do like it.
You touched upon going to Germany. It is the tallest of tall orders for Celtic, but the one thing that they did have in their favour last night is they kept it alive with that Dijsselmeer goal, didn't they?
They did, yeah, and they kept pushing, and I think that's a good trait to have. That they keep going regardless. Even at Villa, they still keep going. They still want to have a go, and the crowd obviously helps that and all. Being that extra bit of energy that the players need sometimes. And the fans respond to that when they see the players giving it. They don't just give up. They keep going and going. And I think it's a good trait to have at this stage.
I mean, it is. I mean, you say they are mission impossible, mission improbable, but stranger things have happened. Celtic clearly have to go there and win. But I mean, there's no away goals rule, stuff like that. So, I mean, the mission doesn't change really, does it?
It doesn't. No, I think to get to these stages, you need to be able to do pull off a short result, which it would be. But obviously it's clear to see their quality, right through their team, how they pass and move, and from their goalkeeper right the way through their team. They're a good side, and they carry different threats throughout their team. So it is a big ask, and they're massive underdogs, but you never know.
See, when you look at a team like that, Jackie, you can admire great players doing wonderful things and being at the top of their game. But for a club like Celtic, that's a template, isn't it? That's what you have to aspire to. I know people talk about the financial gulf and you don't have the calibre of player, but you just look at these teams and the way they knock the ball about, and that's the way you ideally, in an ideal world, you want your team to play. And at times Celtic can do that. They did it against RB Leipzig. Well, they reached a peak performance that night, were one of the best European performances, I would conjecture, since Martin O'Neill's era and your own era when you played.
Absolutely. I think, as I said, when you play for Celtic, there's an expectation there to go and do well and to go and win, even regardless of the gulf. Even when we played, the fans... and it's not unrealistic there when you've got the fans behind you. You can go and pull off shock results. You need a lot of luck. You need to concentrate. You need to defend well and be organised. And still carry the threat. And Celtic's shown that they can do that. And that's what they'll need to do next week.
Going into that next week, the Allianz Arena, it's one of the world-renowned football venues, Jackie. That should inspire you, shouldn't it? As a Celtic player, you walk out with your chest puffed out and you just say, right, I'm having this. This is where I want to be. This is the stage I want to play at. Because I know you guys certainly enjoyed it back in your day. Yeah.
I think as a player, that's the games you want to play in. You want to play in the big pressure games and the crowd there and going away there. We had a taste of it, going to Camp Nou and places like that. You're going to be defending for 90 minutes. To come away with a clean sheet was, thinking it's going to be a miracle and against some of the best players in the world. But it's what you want to play. It's what you want to do as a professional. You want to play against these guys and look back in it and, with good memories.
You did play against those guys in the Olympic Stadium, and I saw Martin O'Neill on one of those talk shows or sports shows. I think it was TNT, Premier Sports or something, and he still blames Magnus Hedman. In the Olympic Stadium, the night where Alan Thompson scored the header, Celtic were playing really, really well. They go 1-0 up and everything's looking good. 2 late Roy Mackay goals. think Celtic, but you guys came the closest to beating Bayern Munich 0-0 at Celtic Park, 2-1 over there. It can be done, can't it? You know,
it can be done. As I said, with individual errors. You know, Magnus did make a couple of mistakes that night, and it was costly. But that's what happens at that level. You know, one person, whether it be a defender or a goalkeeper, make a mistake and it's in the back of your net. Such as the quality that these guys have. You know, so that's a wee bit you need to cut out, and obviously have a bit of luck along the way as well, with decisions going your way, which, you know, Celtic could easily have had a penalty last night. You know, so I think it was outside the box. He's given a free kick there. I know that he does touch the ball just before it, but you know, we've seen them all given, you know, for less.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that, you know, Celtic's luck last night was pretty rotten, wasn't it? In terms of bad luck, Kuhn has a shot inside 26 seconds.
Yeah,
and then just straight into an offside position. It is offside. I'm not arguing with that. The penalty, they're either given or they're not. But when the referee goes to the screen, you think that VAR have said flag this up, but he stuck by his original decision. If you're Bayern Munich, you're breathing a sigh of relief. If you're Celtic, you're wanting a penalty, aren't you?
Yeah, I think when he went to look at the monitor, I thought, right, that's going to be a penalty, you know, because that's the usual outcome, and you're waiting for him pointing to the spot. But I was surprised he didn't. Obviously, didn't want to say that he was wrong or got it wrong. But you know, the lad did touch it, the ball first, and then he's came down on his foot, and you know, I think it's very subjective, different people. But you know, my first thought was it was a penalty. Then you see him touch the ball first, but I think if it's outside the box, I think he's given a free kick there. So you know, literally, it's it could go either way.
What's it going to take in Germany, Jackie, for Celtic to have any kind of chance? Is it a kind of Atalanta you spoke about there, a kind of backs to the wall type defensive performance, and be as clinical as you can on the counter? Because they have got players that can be clinical on the counter.
Absolutely, I think, you know, a performance like that, Atalanta are a good side, dangerous side, as a Bayern. But I think if you can have it organised and, you know, and keep a clean sheet, you've got half a chance. You know, because they have got pace in certain areas. You know, Kuhn, Maeda, he does know the slowest eye. He can move as well in the midfield, getting forward. So, you know, it is achievable. Jota as well. So they've shown that they can create chances and take chances like they did last night. Getting a goal near the end, but they keep, as I said, they keep going. It just takes one moment to change everything.
I mean, I go back to your time when Martin O'Neill's team were playing, and they went about their task with gusto in Europe and claimed many scalps. So that I think they kind of, and there was no inferiority complex when you guys played, was there? You guys felt like you could go toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah. I think going into the European games away from home, we thought we could always score away from home, you know, and get the goal, which it proved really important in that run to Seville. You know, the Champions League, we always confident we could go away from home and put up a good show and, you know, try and get an away goal.
And I think, and as you see that the away goal rule, obviously it's been rescinded now, so it's not as important, but Celtic have to score to stay in the tie, and obviously they have to keep a clean sheet if they can. I mean, that'll be a tall order in the Allianz, but stranger things have happened, and football works in mysterious ways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. As I said, you need everybody on their A game, you know, for the goalie right through, and then there'll be bits of luck in there, but it's not unachievable for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brendan Rodgers came back and said one of the big things he wanted to do was make Celtic, I use the words in inverted commas, a force in Europe again, but he just wanted to improve that recent European record. But I think Celtic have got some of that prestige and honour back with this Champions League campaign, Jackie.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Dortmund game was a bit embarrassing, the result, you know, and everybody looking at that after the first game. The Villa game, when they lose a couple of goals so early, you're like, oh, come on, I hope this is not going to, be embarrassing. But they turned it around. They came back. They showed their resilience, and a bit unfortunate on the night. So they have. There's no doubt they have improved. You're hoping that can continue. From now on.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you want to if you're going to be regular participants at that level. You want that level of improvement to continue, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that's what Brendan wants. The players to keep improving at that level and maybe add one or two and strengthen the squad. The little bits there when you've gone away to Dortmund, missing Carter Vickers or missing one or two players here can be such a difference for the team if one or two are not available. So I think obviously the strength of the squad's important as well.
You were synonymous with being a right back for Celtic, Jackie. We played many positions, every position I think, except centre forward. But the current right back, Alistair Johnston, what have you made of him since he's come in?
Yeah, I think he's come in well. He came in at the start, and he made the position his own. There's, I like he's always on the front foot.
Like yourself.
I think defensively he doesn't play very too much, but I do like his attitude. I like his desire, getting up and down the park, and wee bits to improve on defensively, like stopping crosses and things like that. Concentration, like at the back post. So I don't know. Obviously, the one where Harry Kane, he hits the side net, but I don't know if he's maybe marking him for the goal or who was meant to be picking him up. Just little things like that at that level, we maybe get away with it domestically, but at that level, you switch off for a second and the ball's in the net. So, but I think he's been a terrific signing. Looks like a real asset, the way he can get forward and help the forwards as well. His attitude looks fantastic.
I mean, one of the biggest compliments that's been paid to him and Kuhn is that they say that kind of link up down that right hand side is reminiscent of yourself and Simon Donnelly. I don't know if you've heard that or people saying that, but believe me, that's what they are saying. That so when you hear things like that, it's very complimentary, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I think obviously the wee differences there with Kuhn coming on his left foot to open it up like he did last night, and him, it leaves him the space to overlap him and down behind. It must be especially if it's 2v1 and he's breaking on Kuhn's breaking on the left back, and does he take him or does he reverse it to Johnson down the side? So I think they've struck up a real partnership down there, and they're very pleasing on the eye.
And your boy Luke's doing well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done really well. Yeah, he's done really well, and I think he's settled in well, and he's looked very comfortable. He's come up with a few important goals as well. But his performances are good. You can see him getting better and stronger each game. I said that to him before. When you go to a club like Celtic, like I experienced it, when you're playing with better players, it becomes easier. And Luke will find that. The guys in the same wavelength, and you can put that in, link with them. But I think he's been great so far.
Very reminiscent of yourself when you left Dunfermline and went to Celtic. You went into a dressing room that was full of big personalities and big players, wasn't there? There was Yogi Hughes, then there was the three amigos came in. But you found your feet very quickly, and I think it's similar. Look, he's found his feet very quickly because he's kind of done the hard yards, hasn't he? So he played for Ayr. He was a captain. People forget that he was a captain of Dundee. So there's a lot of experience there and a lot of games there, isn't there?
There is a lot of games there and responsibility being the captain at Dundee. And that would have helped him come in and settle in at Celtic. For me, the experienced players like McStay and Peter Grants and John Collins, guys in the team, along with the younger ones, Simon Donnelly and Brian McLaughlin, Stuart Gray, boys like that. So it was a kind of good mix.
But it's wonderful to see him playing the Champions League and stuff like that, isn't it, as well? just
It is, and
what you want as a player, even whatever stage it comes at.
yeah, when I took him to a Champions League game a few years ago when he was at A United, and said that he could play at that level, and so it's nice to see,
Yeah,
you know, coming through for him.
full circle. Yeah, as you say, I think he's there on merit. People say, "Oh, he's living the dream and all that," but he's there because he's a good footballer, Jackie, first and foremost.
Yeah, as I said, it's not because he's a Celtic fan. His numbers were great at Dundee. You know, he was influential and everything. You can see how much they've missed him since he's left.
Yeah.
You know, and when he stepped into wearing the Celtic jersey, he's been excellent. You know, and everybody is commenting on it and how well he's adapted to being a Celtic player, and you can see he loves it. So, no, I'm delighted for him. Absolutely delighted.
Yeah. I mean, it's just great to see Celtic at this level, competing at this level again, Jackie. If they're going to go out of the Champions League, then they're going out on centre stage. But that's not me being defeatist. But you are mixing it again with the elite level clubs of European football, and you will progress the more you do that. And as you say, if Brendan Rodgers can add a couple of players, but nights like Tuesday night will give you that real gauge and bar to see where you're at, where everything's on the line. It's a one-off game and it's a winner takes all, and that'll be it'll be a gauge and a measurement of your progress of how far you've come in a short space of time under this manager.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, new players that have been added as well between the summer. Engels coming in, Luke coming in, and getting that taste that, you know, they're only going to get better and more experienced at this level. Trusty coming in as well. So, and they've also got Jota back. Kuhn, I think Kuhn's been fantastic this season. Maeda's been in such great form as well. So, you know, it's a lot to like about the team at the moment, and it seems to be a little bit stronger. You know, one or two players pushing for starting positions.
Did you feel like that when you played when you went on those kind of European runs, that you got better, the more experience and the better the team you played?
Yeah, I think so. I think you get a lot of confidence from going and, you know, competing against the best. For me, they were the best in the world at the time. You know, and going to Barcelona or, you know, Bayern Munich's, AC Milan's, you know, and playing against these guys that are, you know, the talk of everybody. You know, Ronaldinho's, and so that it gives you a lot of confidence that you can go and concentrate and do well against them and be in the same park, never mind anything else.
Because it was unprecedented that first time that Celtic played in the Champions League, that they got 9 points and still went out of the group stages, Jackie. 9 points would get you. You'd top the group, top most groups at that point when, you know, in time. I know it was the 4-team section, but Celtic got 9 points, and everybody knows it was the Stadio delle Alpi that did for Celtic with the Amoroso penalty.
Yeah.
You never forget names like that, do you? And
no, you don't.
had his infamous shocking rant, but
yeah. But I think it was again a great experience. You know, going away and winning to get there, having to go and beat Ajax out over 2 games. The 3-1 over in Ajax was fantastic. That gave us a real opportunity to believe that we could go on, you know, and do well.
Because the Celtic Park game when they returned on that was a sticker twist, wasn't it? You were 3-1 up, ended up losing 1-0, a bit nervy, a bit edgy, but you put yourself in that position, didn't you, by playing so well? And then you go to Dele Alpi and you go 2 down, but you come back and you think to yourself, we can compete here, we belong at this stage. So I'm just thinking that the same mentality for Brendan Rodgers' team as they move forward, they will take all the good of this experience into the next campaign and so forth and so on.
Yeah, they will, as I said, and they'll take great confidence in how they've done this season. You know, it's been. Hopefully, there's more to come in the Champions League. But if it's not, then I'm sure it'll be deemed a success to get out. You know, of that bit and into the playoffs to start with. You know, I think we're a bit in the handoff for that at the start.
was going to say, when you straight out at the start of the season, they would have said, let's make the playoff stage.
Yeah.
They are 2-1 down to Bayern. What will be. But see that if they go on and win the title, which we think they will do, they've got a healthy lead in the Scottish Premiership race. But do those goalposts change? Do you guys come in at the next season and say, we reached the playoff, can we go one better? Can we reach the last 16? And then adjust that accordingly as you go along if it turns out that that's going to happen?
I don't think, obviously I can't speak for the current team, but I don't think I think as a Celtic player, you start each season just wanting to win what's in front of you. You know, would it be Cup, League, Europe? You know, the target's to win every game.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it is every season. To be honest, you know, there's no change in that. First and foremost, to win the league, to win the cup, or to win in Europe, to take it as far as we can. So, you know, I don't think that will change a lot.
Hence the song Barcelona, Real Madrid, and all that kind of stuff. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it is. But as you say that, and that's the thing as well that, you know, you mentioned somebody like Luke, he'll learn that too, won't he? That it's not an unrealistic demand, it's just a demand as a Celtic player to win every game regardless of the opposition. And there'll still be that expectancy on Celtic to go to Germany on Tuesday and win. You know, you can say it's unrealistic, you can say it's a pipe dream, you can say it's pie in the sky, but the bottom line is, as a Celtic player, you're still expected to go out and win.
Yeah, and perform and, you know, keep going. You know, they'll take a big crowd there. They take the crowds everywhere they go. So that's part and parcel of being a Celtic player, is the demands to go and handle that. Then, and you know, and obviously try and win the match. But yeah, it doesn't change whoever we're playing.
Did you ever find that difficult handling that pressure, or was that something you thrived on and you vibed off? You got good energy from that?
Yeah, to be honest, that's you know, that was the most important thing, is having that pressure. You know, I really enjoyed it, and regardless of who you're playing, but then you've got that support and energy behind you, you know, to go and do your best and never give up, you know, for the club, and keep winning. So it didn't matter who we're up against. You wanted to just beat everybody, so it doesn't change.
And is there, do you actually take in at some point the kind of arena you're playing in, and, you know, there'll be a healthy respect the fact that Celtic players are playing against in the Allianz, but they're no tourists. You're there for a reason. You're there to win a football match. You know, you look around, you think, right, wow, the task is formidable, but it's not, as you say, it's not unreachable. It's not undoable.
Yeah, I mean, I never ever thought like that. You know, going to different stadiums, yeah, it's nice the first wee bit, but you train on it the night before, and you have a look around. But once the game's on the next night, when it's game night, you know, you just switch off. Just another stadium, it's another pitch, it's another game we need to go and try and win. So, you know, you adapt quickly to it.
Johnny says that the mindset of a Celtic player, it's just like, doesn't matter. It could be Bayern, it could be anybody. You know, it doesn't matter. Just the object's always the same. That demand to win a football match, whether it be in the Scottish Cup, the Glasgow Cup, Champions League, you've got to try and win. As you say, and perform.
And perform, yeah. I think, and I think that's a good thing. You know, I think it's healthy, and as a player, that's what you want. You want to be in a side that's expected to win and want to win, and have to win, and it doesn't change.
What are you expecting on Tuesday? Can they win?
I mean, it isn't impossible. It's a big ask. You know, realistically, it's a big ask, but they would need to have so many things go for them on the night. You know, as I said, they need everybody on their A game. But I think the important thing is they're in the tie. It's one goal. You know, you get the goal, and but it is a big ask.
Do you believe that in order to have the best chance, that Celtic do have to score first in the return.
Yeah, absolutely. And that doesn't have to be in the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It can, as long as you keep a clean sheet, it could be, in the last 10 minutes. So I think it's important not to go gung-ho and keep their shape and their discipline like they've done in a couple of away games recently. And then, see if they can cause a re-upset in the break.
These records are meant to be broken, Jackie. Upsets and, these kind of competitions are what football's all about, isn't it? And if Celtic can go there and claim the scalp of Bayern Munich, it'd be right up there with one of the best results in Europe ever, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I think it would be one of the best, results, not in history, but, from a long time. They'll beat the Lisbon Lions.
Yeah.
But, no, I think it would go a long way as one of the biggest upsets and best results.
Will you be there? Are you going to go across? Or?
No, I'll be watching it. I'll be watching the telly. Maybe turn the sound off for the co-cops. So turned the sound off last night, watching over here, but geez.
Enjoying it though.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
But listen, I can't thank you enough for coming on and talking to me. I really, really appreciate you being on and talking to me about the obviously Celtic Bayern last night and Bayern versus Celtic coming up on Tuesday and a myriad of other things. But on behalf of the Celtic Way, really appreciate it, Jackie. All right?
No problem, mate.